They hiked back down to the highway through the mud, the smell of the earth and wet ash in the rain, dark water in the roadside ditch, sucking out of an iron culvert into a pool, and a yard of plastic deer. Late the day following, they entered a small town where three men stepped from behind a truck and stood in the road before them, emaciated, clothed in white rags, holding lengths of pipe. "What have you got in the basket?" He leveled a pistol at them. They stood. The boy clung to his coat. No one spoke. He set the cart forward again, and they moved to the side of the road. He had the boy take the cart and walk backwards, keeping the pistol on them. He tried to look like any common migratory killer, but his heart was hammering, and he knew he was going to start coughing. They drifted back into the road and stood watching. He put the pistol in his belt and turned to the cart. At the top of the rise, when he looked back, they were still standing there. He told the boy to push the cart and walk out through the yard to where he could see back down the road. But now they were gone. The boy was very scared. He laid the gun on top of the tarp and took the cart, and they went on.
They lay in the field until dark watching the road, but no one came. It was very cold. When it was too dark to see, they got the cart and stumbled back to the road, and he got the blankets out and they wrapped themselves up and went on, feeling out the paving under their feet. One wheel on the car had developed a periodic squeak, but there was nothing to be done about it. They struggled on for some hours and then floundered off through the roadside brush. They lay shivering and exhausted on the cold ground and slept till day. When he woke, he was sick.
He'd come down with a fever, and they lay in the woods like fugitives. Nowhere to build a fire, nowhere safe. The boy sat in the leaves watching him, his eyes brimming.
Are you going to die, Papa? Are you going to die?
"No, I'm just sick."
I'm really scared.
"I know, it's all right. I'm going to get better, you'll see."
His dreams brightened. The vanished world returned. King Long, dead, washed up, and cast face sideways looks upon him. None spoke. He thought of his life, so long ago, a gray day in a foreign city where he stood in a window and watched the street below. Behind him on a wooden stable, a small lamp burned. On the table, books and papers. It had begun to rain, and a cat at the corner turned and crossed the sidewalk and sat beneath the cave awning. There was a woman at the table, there with her head in her hands. Years later, he stood in the charred ruins of a library where blackened books lay in pools of water, shelves tipped over, some rage of the lie arranged in their thousand row on row. He picked up one of the books and thumbed through the heavy bloated pages. He not have thought the value of the smallest thing predicted on the world to come. It surprised him that the space which these things occupied it was itself an expectation. He let the book fall. He let the book fall and took last look around and made his way out into the cold gray light.
3 days, 4. He slept poorly. The racking cough woke him. Rasping suck of air. "I'm sorry." And pitiless start. "It's okay," said the boy. He got the little oil lamp lit and left it sitting on the rock, and he rose and shuffled out through the leaves, wrapped him in blankets. The boy whispered for him not to go. "Just a little ways, not far. I'll hear you if you call." If the lamp should blow out, he could not find his way back. He sat in the leaves at the top of the hill and looked into the blackness. Nothing to see, no wind. In the past, when he walked out like that and sat looking over the country, lying in just the faintest visible shape, where the lost moon tracked the caustic waste he'd sometimes seen a light, dim and shapeless in the murk, across a river or deep in the blackened quadrants of a burned city. In the morning, sometimes he'd return with the binoculars and the glass countryside for any sign of smoke, but he never saw any.
Standing at the edge of the winter field among rough men, the boy's age, a little older, watching while they opened up the rocky hillside ground with picky and mattock and brought it like a gray bolus of serpents, perhaps 100 in number, collected there for a common warmth. The dull tools of them beginning to move sluggishly in the cold, hard light. Like the bowels of some great beast exposed to day, the men poured gasoline on them and burned them alive, having no remedy for evil, but only for the image of as they conceived it to be. The burning snakes twisted horribly, and some crawled burning across the floor of the grotto and illuminate the darker recess. As they were mute, there were no screams of pain, and the men watched them burn and writhe and blacken and just silence themselves, and they disbanded in silence in the winter dusk, each with his own thoughts to go home to their suppers.
One night the boy woke from a dream and would not tell him what it was. You don't have to tell me. It's alright.
I'm scared.
It's alright.
No, it's not.
It's just a dream.
I'm really scared.
I know. The boy turned away. The man held him. Listen to me.
What?
When your dreams are some world that never was or of some world that never will be and you are happy again, then you will have given up. Do you understand? And you can't give up. I won't let you.
When they set out again, he was very weak, and for all his speeches, he'd become more faint of heart than he had been in years. Filthy with diarrhea, leaning on the bar handle of the shopping cart, he looked at the boy out of his sunken, haggard eyes, some new distance between them. He could feel it. In 2 days' time, they came upon a country where firestones had passed, leaving mile on mile of burn, a cake of ash in the road inches deep and hard to going with the cart. The blacktop underneath had buckled in the heat and then set back again. He leaned on the handle and looked down the long straightaway, the thin trees, the waterways of gray sludge and blackened Jawstrand Lane.
Beyond a crossroads in the wilderness, they began to come upon the possessions of travelers abandoning the road years ago. Boxes and bags, everything melted in black. Old plastic suitcases curled up, shapeless in the heat. Here and there, the imprint of things wrestled out of the tar by scavengers. A mile on, and they began to come upon the dead, figures half mired in the blacktop, clutching themselves, mouths howling. He put his hand on the boy's shoulder. Take my hand, he said. I don't think you should see this.
Who'd you put in your head is there forever?
Yes.
It's okay, Papa.
It's okay?
They're already there.
I don't want to look.
They'll still be there. He stopped and leaned on the car. He looked down the road and he looked at the boy, so strangely untroubled. Why don't we just go on?
Yes, okay.
They were trying to get away, weren't they, Papa?
Yes, they were.
Why didn't they leave the road?
They couldn't. Everything was on fire. They picked their way among the mummied figures, the black skin stretched upon the bones, and their faces split and shrunken on their skulls, like victims of some ghastly vacuuming. Passing them in silence down the silent corridor, through the drifting ash, where they struggled forever, and the roads full ugly.
They passed through the site of a roadside hamlet, burned to nothing. Some metal storage tanks and a few standing flues of blackened brick. There were gray slag pools of melted glass in the ditches, and the raw light wires lay in rusting skins for miles along the edge of the roadway. He was coughing every step of it. He saw the boy watching him. He was what the boy thought about. Well, should be.
They sat in the road and ate leftover skillet bread, hard as a biscuit, and their last can of tuna fish. He opened a can of prunes, and they passed it between them. The boy held the tin up and drained the last of the juice, and then sat with the tin in his lap as he passed his forefinger around the inside of it and pushed his finger in his mouth. Don't cut your finger.
You always say that.
I know.
He watched him lick the lid of the tin with gray care, like a cat licking a reflection in the glass. Stop watching me, he said.
Okay.
Oh, he folded down the lid of the can and set it in the row before him. What? What is it?
Nothing.
Tell me.
I think there's someone following us.
That's what I thought.
That's what you thought?
Yes, that's what I thought you were going to say. What do you want to do?
I don't know.
What do you think?
Let's just go. We should hide our trash.
Because they'll think we have lots of food
Yes.
and they'll try to kill us.
They won't kill us.
They might try to.
Well, okay.
Okay.
I think we should lay in the weeds for them. See who they are.
And how many?
And how many? Yes.
Okay.
If we can get across the creek, we could go up on the bluffs there and watch the road.
Okay.
We'll find a place. They rose and piled their blankets in a cart. Get the 10.
It was late into the long twilight before the road crossed in the creek. They trundled over the bridge and pushed the cart out through the woods looking for some place to leave it, where it would be not seen. They stood looking back at the road in the dusk. What do we put under the bridge? What if they don't? What if they go down there for water? How far do you think they are?
I don't know.
It's getting dark.
I know.
What if they go by in the dark?
Let's just find a place where we can watch. It's not dark yet. They hid the cart and went up the slope among the rocks, carrying their blankets, and they dug themselves in where they could see back down the road through the trees for perhaps a mile. They were sheltered from the wind, and they wrapped themselves in their blankets and took turns watching, but after a while the boy was asleep. He was almost asleep himself when he saw a figure appear at the top of the road and stand there. Soon 2 more appeared, then a fourth. They stood in groups, then they came on, and he could not make them out in the deep dusk. He thought he might stop soon, and he wished he'd found a place further from the road. If they stopped at the bridge, it would be a long, cold night. They came down the road and crossed the bridge. 3 men and a woman. The woman walked through the watering gate, and as she approached, he could see she was pregnant. The men carried packs on their backs, and the woman carried a small cloth suitcase. All of them wretched looking beyond description, their breath steaming softly. They crossed the bridge and continued on down the road and vanished one by one into the waiting darkness. What was the reason why he didn't shoot the 3 guys?
I think because he knew he only had one bullet left in the gun and he was outnumbered, and that was just the wisest decision to do. Why don't you think he shot the 4 people that was under the bridge?
I
Or
think,
stopped and talked to them at least?
okay, I think he didn't because, again, um, he knew he was outnumbered. He didn't know if they were going to be good or bad, trying to hurt them. Um, he wanted the best life for the kids, so he couldn't risk uh, dangerous, like, outlook.
Oh, okay.